tonight, among other things, we will conclude our time here, at least for now, within living memory. As well, there are other quests for us to go and take on. And tonight we will see what awaits us as we begin the epilogue of the new expansion. So, with that in mind, greetings people of the world, Matthias Griffin back with you for the continuation of Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail live here on Twitch. So, here in living memory, we've just arrived at the... as I'll switch over. As you'll see, we made it over back to Laynode Arrow because 2 new side quests have been added. These were added after the game was done, after we beat the main story. So tonight I'll be getting those, then we'll get the remaining side content that's available to us in Tuliyollal before we start going to get the side dungeons. So before I begin that process, there is one thing I do need to do. Because I got my Black Mage to level 100 in the time since I was last with you, I moved on to my next pursuit of leveling a job to 100, which in this case will be Reaper. I decided it makes sense for the Grim Reaper to be leveled, if for no other reason than the fact that, given what we did to this place, we kind of are the Grim Reaper of living memory, aren't we? Yeah, this was once a zoo, but unfortunately, it was a zoo slash conservatory, but it's out of operation like everything else is here. And as you can see, for the first time in who knows how long, the clouds have rolled in. So we're gonna go ahead and take these 2 side quests on, and then we'll head on back to Tuliyollal. So, our 2 bonus quests for the living memory area begin by speaking with this budding botanist, dressed very much like the ones that we would find in Sharlayan in Labyrinthos specifically. Let's go ahead and speak with this budding botanist to take on our quest entitled Leaving This Place for Good. The budding botanist is breathing rather heavily.
Hello. I don't think I've seen you before. I'm here to collect all sorts of leaves and flowers just like my hero. I was looking for plants to add to my collection when a fiend burst out of the bushes and chased me away. I've only just caught my breath. I know it's a lot to ask, but would you mind helping me out?
Okay.
I'm looking for Nephaletta fronds, Arenaris leaves, and some banana leaves. You should be able to find everything nearby.
Well, banana leaves I know, but the other 2? Those are some very elaborate names for things. Obviously not of this world, not of the source. So we come over here. Let's go ahead and pluck from this tree. If we have to defend ourselves, we will. Probably a good idea for me to bring up my chocobo. Oh, thought I summoned my motorcycle. I had not. Alright, here we go. Actually, speaking of motorcycles, I'm probably at the point now where I can, now that I've beaten the main story, I can switch now to the new motorcycle that I got. One that I showed off just a few streams ago. So now into the banana tree. And now for the Arenaris. Area that they call the knowable, because I guess they know it all. And here we are. Yeah, it grows by the water. Alright. Let's go and take this stuff back. Yeah, perhaps the easiest quest we've had so far as side content here in living memory.
Your buck! Did you find everything?
We have. There you go.
Wow, thank you so much. I'm annoyed I couldn't do it alone, but thanks to you, my living memory plant collection is complete.
So let's learn a little more about you.
Have you ever heard of Neverletter? People take the fronds and use them to brew a nice warming tea. One of my books says that travelers and merchants used to drink it all the time before the war.
Yeah, but now...
Apparently, the second type of leaf I asked you to get, Irenaris, is really, really bitter. I heard that they used it in a lot of old Alexandrian dishes. People must have had different tastes back then. And then there's banana leaves. In Tyrol, they use the leaves to rub different kinds of fillings before cooking them. I've never tried it personally, but that's what my hero told me.
So who was your hero?
I suppose I should also tell you a little bit about her. She had the loveliest long ears and used to talk with me all the time in Heritage Found. I remember she once laughed at me for calling her Miss. She said she wasn't as young as I thought.
Would this be who we think it is?
She knew so much about plants and animals, and she'd tell me all kinds of amazing stories about her travels. And I still remember what she said to me. Discovering new species is my life's work. I heard that and decided I'd make it my life's work too. But when I told her that I wanted to go on an adventure, she said to wait until I was older and wiser and ready to stand on my own 2 feet. Well, after that, I got sick. And in the end...
Yeah, you were never able to live up to Kakiwa's expectations or dreams.
I guess I wasn't being realistic. I was so obsessed with the idea of collecting new plants and finding all sorts of amazing trees that I forgot about my health. I've always been frail, you see.
Is it because of the Levin sickness?
I wanted to visit Clara too. You know, the place they named this museum after. I read that the town is built on top of a giant tree protected by swirling sandstorms. Apparently, it's on the same continent as Alexandria. Speaking of giant trees, have you ever seen any?
During my time in the Black Shroud, I saw a truly towering specimen called the Guardian Tree, which is perfect for a Gordanian character, or the Raktika Greatwood is filled with the biggest trees you can imagine. Yeah, why do you say we really blow his mind? Because yeah, imagine that if you did not start in Gordania, you would have not gotten the option to say the Guardian Tree. Actually, I think that if you started in Ul'dah, you would probably have the option to say the Sultan Tree.
Whoa, I've never heard about that place. You must be a traveler just like my hero. I'd given up on my idea of going on a big adventure, but after hearing your stories, I can't bear the thought of not living out my dream. Just you wait. One day I'll see the world and all it has to offer. After all, there's so much more out there than my books could ever tell me.
And now having your curiosity satisfied, off you go, into the heavens. So that, because I'm on my level 95 Reaper, we're taking 398,000 experience points and 829 gil. Alright, that's one. Let's go get the other one. Which will be down at the far bottom of the Leynode Arrow area. Well, everything may be shut off, but there is some beautiful sights still to see around here. The Blooms of Discovery still exist. Which is important for people who actually have to do botanists and gather stuff here. So the fact that these things are still here is definitely a boon to them. And I guess from a very small child to a very elderly lady, perhaps the two biggest ironies to go from one to another like that. But this is the last side quest giver here in Living Memory, so let's go and speak with this amiable elder to take on our last quest within Living Memory, entitled Lindblum. We hardly knew ye. The amiable elder seems starved for company.
There I was, beginning to think that I was the only one left. Perhaps you'd like to join me for a moment or two? This place was once something of an unending dream, but by all appearances, the reverie is finally over, and well, to put it simply, I've been desperate to talk to someone. If you feel like stretching your legs, why don't you come and find me by the bridge here in the Blooms of Discovery?
Alright. And for those of you who are wondering where the fancy armor comes from, this is a glamour from doing the Eureka quest that originated from the Epilogue content of Stormblood. During the pandemic, and especially in 2020, I spent a lot of time here to get this suit of armor because it is a very flashy suit of armor, and people who have it are not afraid to flaunt it. Let's speak with the Elder.
Oh, I'm glad you came. I'll get straight to it. How familiar are you with the nation of Lindblum?
I knew that they were once at war with Alexandria. They were famed for manufacturing fearsome weapons, are they not? Or just basically have no idea. But yeah, they were the rivals.
Precisely. Alexandria fought with its neighbor Lindblum during the Storm Surge, and it was the latter who produced the dreadful weapon that wrought disaster. To focus on this period of conflict reveals a nation loathed by the people of Alexandria. Yet for much of the nation's shared history, Lindblum was simply a neighbor, albeit one with rather different customs. All this talk has put me in the mood for another wander. Come and find me when you're ready to hear the rest of my ramblings.
Certainly. Now she's going west. Seeing as nighttime falls here in living memory. Yeah, with it being overcast and with there being no lights on, this place gets really creepy. I applaud this amiable elder for how courageous she is.
Let us continue. Now, in many ways, a nation can be viewed as the combination of technology and culture. I wonder where your interest lies.
Technology all the way. I consider myself a man of culture, or it's hard to pick one over the other, but me, I prefer to be more culturally oriented. Just because of the love of my own country, Canada.
I see. Regardless of your affiliation, simply taking an interest in such matters is to be commended. Lindblum was always revered for its technological prowess. After all, this was the nation that revolutionized travel with the invention of the air cab and the airship, designs that combine magic and machine to remarkable effects. Despite such advancements, they held dear to time-honored traditions, among them the hunts. This festival of frenzied violence saw city streets awash with the blood of fiends, intentionally released as sport for brave warriors seeking to prove their skills.
Is that just a rumor?
A nation on the forefront of technological innovation, yet steeped in the wild vestiges of its past. An interesting duality, I'm sure you'll agree. Lest we get too comfortable standing here, I suggest we make for Lane Odero to finish up our discussion.
Alright. So, let's head on back then. Sure, I could just warp back, but probably better to just give you guys the enjoyment of being surrounded by these beautiful flowers. Let's go ahead and speak with the amiable elder again. And so, after some time here in the darkness and gloominess,
I'm sure that you have your reasons for being here just as I have mine. Despite that, you chose to humor this old woman, and for that, you have my thanks. I've had a wonderful time talking with you.
Glad I could eat up your time as much as you have.
You might have gathered by now, but in my past life, I taught history. When the time came to retire, I stayed true to my passions and began to study my family's pasts. As I traced my lineage back through the generations, I made quite a startling discovery. One of my ancestors was originally from Lindblum, she had made her way to Alexandria around the time of the storm surge.
Yeah, look how shocked I am.
The war broke out not long after she married. As far as I could glean from the records, instead of returning to her native land, she remained in Alexandria for the rest of her life. When I discovered my connection to Lindblum, I pledged to learn more of our longtime foe. Although records were scarce, I dedicated what time I had left to my research, determined that, at the very least, I would remember the nation's fates.
And hopefully not be able to have to wear one of those stupid regulators. Because, yeah, I'm sure you forgot all about your mother by the time that she went by.
If it's not too much to ask, I'd love to hear your thoughts about everything I've told you.
What a fascinating account, or what I'd give to take part in one of those hunts, or another grave reminder of the tragedy of war, but no. Let's make her smile.
I'm so glad to hear that. I must apologize.
This is not the time for this.
I must apologize. Knowing that this would be my last lecture, I got a little carried away, but I simply had to share this with someone. Little did I know that I would be blessed with such an enthusiastic student.
But now,
you are a kind soul indeed. May the time you have left here prove fruitful and fulfilling.
well, I'm certainly glad we could help you out. And thus she goes away, and thus there are no more people here in Alexandria, or at least within living memory. So we'll go ahead and take our 398,000 experience points, 915 gil, and choice of dyes, Snow White or Soot Black, or 500 gil. Well, I think in honor of everyone who has disappeared from this place, we'll take the Snow White. And there we go. All cleared out. Everything that's left here is just fate-oriented. And so, since we have taken care of all that, let's go ahead and leave this place, at least for now, and make our way back to Tuliolal. This does mean, though, that because of where my Reaper is right now, that means I cannot gain experience points by doing what I'm about to do, but we'll go ahead and get the opportunity to head back over to... So yeah, we'll head to the marketplace so we can pick up the remaining quests there. And these have to do with the hunt board, of course. So I did not pick this up at 99 before coming here, but we know that they have a 99 and they also have a 100. So let's go ahead and speak with Bol Oga to take on the level 99 hunt board quest entitled Hunting the Hunter. Bol Oga is impressed with your progress. Mathia, it's good to see you safe. The whole city's been on a knife edge since the attack. Folk need hunters like you and me to deal with the dangers they're facing more than ever. Like you and me, and like Napukwe, Viper by trade, always helping out with hunts. She took a bill from the board a few days back. Thing is, it was for a markup in Yasulani and no one's seen her since. Oh no. Might be that she's still on its chill, but hearing everything about that's happening up there, all about this dome, I can't help but worry. A little bill tells me that you've been inside it. You couldn't ask around in there, could you? Find out if anyone's seen her? Oh jeez, this is not gonna be good. Thank you. It means a lot to me. Like, last anyone heard from her, she was on her way to Teshpiani. Maybe someone in the village will have seen her, if there's anyone left. Yeah, if there's anyone left. Alright. Means we have to head to the station, and we'll go from there. What will she look like after 30 years? Before I go, though, I did say I should swap. You know, swap to the new motorcycle on the Final Fantasy XIV production line, the A9 Airwheeler. Yeah, I think we're at that point where we can say we've earned the right to ride this thing. Well, it turns out that she's actually in the outskirts. Well, everyone said Teshpiashi or whatever. Alright, so we're speaking with Zominike then. Yeah, they had me fooled. Good evening to you. Anything I can help you with? Actually, there is. Do you know this person? Napikwe. Yes, I know her well. She's something of a hero on these parts. Our guardian angel. Just as the rain comes in. She just arrived when the tremor struck, on the trail of some beast or other. Can't remember the details now, but I do remember that when the ground started shaking and levin filled the air, it was she who guided us all to safety. Braved the bolts to drive back the beasts that were tearing up our farmsteads. Where is she now, I wonder? Last I heard, she registered with the hunters, but that was years back. She'd probably be retired now, or... No, she's still with us, she has to be. I wouldn't remember if she wasn't. You should go and ask the facilitators at Resolution up in Solution 9. They keep a record of every citizen's location. Tell them you're looking for an old friend and they'll put you in contact. Solution 9? Yeah, this definitely went sideways, didn't it? Not only not here, but would have aged 30 years. Plus, apparently they track everyone? I was not told about this. Yeah, let's go and find out. Which means we don't even need to be in combat gear. And of course, don't mind the Squid Game bots. Speak with Philomena in Solution 9. At the information desk.
Welcome to the government sector. How may I be of service?
Do you know a person by this name?
You're a friend of Napikwe's. One of many, I'm sure. Such an amiable soul, and such a shame about the injury forcing her from the field.
Aw, man.
But what's a career? I should think that the better part of our data on the local fauna was collected by her and her followers. Followers who adore her to this day. I believe she was the one who introduced the idea of fighting with twin blades too, and look how that's taken off.
You mean it wasn't Zoraja?
Sharing citizens' personal information is strictly forbidden, as a rule. However, Napikwe left specific instructions that, if any fellow Tirali should come calling, we should send them directly to her.
Well, that's good, right?
And so I shall. Her registered domicile is in Residential Radius 9-14. Ever since her retirement, she spends most of her days sitting in the plaza, watching the world go by. Let me know if you have trouble finding her, but if you do, please pass on my best wishes.
Okay. Let's go and see if we can't find her. And yeah, we will be coming back to Solution 9 again later on, because I'm pretty sure... Yeah, because new side quests are now popped up here in the neighborhood. So we will cover these as well. For now, let's head to 914. And so, yeah, here she is. Obviously a far cry from what she was.
You're a hunter, aren't you? You've got the gates, the eye. Could see it a mile off.
But yeah, do you know who I am?
Paul Ogar? Now there's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Well, you go and tell him I'm safe and well as I've ever been.
Unfortunately, you're also bound to regulators.
Sure, it was a shock when the barrier fell, but what kind of viper would I be if I didn't try to make the best of the bad situation? I joined the hunters, put my talents to use keeping this place safe. Till 10 years ago, that is, when my good hand finally gave out on me.
If you're a dual blade wielder, aren't both of your hands good?
Hard to leave the front lines. Thought I was done for good, to be honest, but then Her Majesty came to me, gave me a new mission. Cataloguing the beasts I no longer had the strength to kill, gave me a new lease on life. Say, now that the bear is broken, is Bor Orgar thinking of bringing the Dawn Hunt back to Yassulani? If he is, then could you give him this?
Oh, what do you have? Yeah, do tell.
Tell him that I'm still here, that for 30 years I kept my vow.
Kept your vow, as in that kind of vow? Let's find out. So as we return, let's go ahead and head back to Bayside Bevy. Because yeah, now you're worlds and years apart. Bull. Good to see you back safe, Mathia. Well, any news on Opique? Yeah, and you're not gonna like it. At least the notebook's intact. She still is then. And it seems all this insanity with the dome hasn't dulled her passion for the hunt any. The notebook makes proof of that. 30 years of work. 30 years! I can't get my head around it. I can count the hours since I last spoke with her, yet it's a wonder she can remember me at all. Yeah, thankfully she hasn't, well, you haven't died yet, so her regulator hasn't made her memory of you go bye-bye. Still, I'm grateful she does. And if she needs my help hunting down some of these beasts, that's exactly what I'll give her. I'll go through this book and draw up bills for the nastiest critters in it. Bring the Dawn Hunt back to Yassulani, or whatever it is they call the place now. Guess it'll be a while before folk can make their way past that barrier freely, so I'll be counting on you and yours to take the lead. But looking at some of these entries, there's a fair few fiends up there that are tougher than anything I've let you go after before. I'll see you're approved to take on advanced marks. Thanks, my friend, and good hunting. Well, thank you very much. So in the meantime, we'll take our 418,000 experience points, which we obviously can't use, and 872 gil. Advanced Dawn Hunt Mark bills are now available. You are now able to undertake Advanced Dawn Hunt Mark bills in Tuliolal. And so we'll speak with Bor Orgar one more time, and take on our level 100 quest for the hunting board, entitled The Hunt Goes On. Bor Orgar has something to tell you. Ah, Mathia, you honor me with your presence. I've heard all about the deeds you've been doing for Wu Clement. That's the Dawn servant to you. But then again, she does forego formalities. As offending Valigar Mondo's revenge wasn't impressive enough, you saved the city from those mechanical beggars too. If there were ever any doubts about your abilities, they're well and truly answered. Which is why I'd like to ask your way one last time. Will you join us in our most essential duty, seeking out and slaying those fiends most foul, those that possess the gravest dangers to our people? I certainly can. You're a hero through and through. Hunting down marks like these is the very purpose the Vipers were founded for. And it's no easy task, I can tell you. There are horrors out there. True horrors. Through Vidral like Valigar Monda, creatures more kin to gods than beasts. We Vipers wander far and wide across the land that we might learn of these creatures and one day end them. You remember Talyat Kat? She's been doing just that for decades now, and has come away with a long list of targets. If you're interested in finding out more about them, go and see her in Yaktel. Napique was doing the same when she went to Yassulani, and yet there's nothing you could call of Thrall Patrol in her journal. Strange. I thought when they showed up nigh everywhere else. Makes me wonder if she might have left them out on purpose. Napique's a viper to the quick, you see. Nothing matters to her more than the people's safety. Separated from her fellow vipers as she was, perhaps she thought it best to leave such a nightmare as well alone. Forgive me for asking so much of you, but if you plan to return to Yasulani anytime soon, could you speak with her again? See if there's something she's not telling us, something we might be able to help her with. Oh, and tell her one more thing from me, that if she wants to come back, me and the rest of the Vipers stand ready to welcome her with open arms. Alright. Oh, it is back to Solution 9 again. Yeah, I thought he was leading us to Yaktel, but no, it's back to Napikwe. Very well, that's how it's gonna be. Hey, Napikwe, we're back.
Ah, the hunter from across the water.
Don't you mean Salt?
What message do you have for me today?
Well, it's a personal message from Bol Oga.
Oh, God, you sentimental fool. I thank him for remembering me, but this is my home now. These people, my people.
Yeah, you've been forced to think that, haven't you? By Queen Sphene.
I've lived here, fought here for the better part of my life. Stepping beyond that wall would be stepping 30 years into the past. And while I've fond memories of the place, I'm an old woman now. I've grown unused to change, not to mention that. Lady Napikwe!
Oh, we have a guy and a girl here. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize you had company.
It's alright, he's a friend of the cause. Let me introduce you. Lonin, Renewal, meet Mathia, the hunter from beyond the wall. Mathia, these are... what would you call yourselves? My little helpers?
Protégés, more like. Lonin at your service. I studied the twin blades under Lady Napikwe and have been helping her conduct a census on the beasts of Alexandria. And the lady without a regulator?
And I'm Renui. I've been working behind the scenes with Oblivion, so I've heard a lot about you and your exploits. Even seen a few firsthand, albeit from the shadows. After you brought peace to living memory, our team secured what we could from the databanks. Found a fair few things that I could brought a glimpse to Lady Napikwe's eye, I can tell you. To overdraw Mathia, Bol Ogar knew it. It doesn't do to draw too much attention to those fiends you haven't the strength to slay. From what Renui tells me of your achievements though, I should wonder if you and yours could succeed where we cannot. Queen Sphene charged me with chronicling her kingdom's fauna, and I expect that there are many discoveries still to be made in its darkest corners. If you want to learn more, just ask these two.
Alright.
Please ask away. Lonin spends most of his time down in the outskirts, but I'll be here.
Alright. And so?
As shall I. My duty is far from over, so in answer to Bol Ogar's question, no, I will not be returning to Tuliolol. But please let him know that I appreciate his kind words, and that I'm only too happy to extend him the same offer.
Alright. And so now that we've established this partnership, they head off on their way. Alright, back to Tuliolal. So yeah, I had to take care of something real quick there. Alright, back to Bayside Bevy to complete our Tour of the Hunt quests. Yeah, hey Bull, we're back. Welcome back, Mathia. Did you speak with Napikwe? I have. And so, I see. It's good to know she has friends. I couldn't bear to think of her all alone up there. The Viper lives to hunt, but others might live to hunt another day, or so the saying goes. Sounds like she's taken that message to heart, taking it upon herself to train a new generation. And it looks like you're her latest pupil. May luck be with you, Mathia, and remember, whatever you do, don't get yourself killed. Well, I'm not familiar enough with the dungeon's mechanics, that very well could happen. So we'll go ahead and take our 699 gil and end this journey with the hunts. Elite Dawn Hunts now accessible. And so there we go.